Holy Wednesday. In Christian tradition, Holy Wednesday is also known as Spy Wednesday. This day is traditionally believed to be the day when Judas Iscariot made the decision to betray Jesus to the authorities for 30 pieces of silver. The Gospels do not provide specific details about what Jesus did on Holy Wednesday, but some interpretations suggest that Jesus may have spent this day in quiet contemplation or preparing for the events that would unfold in the following days leading up to his crucifixion. While there's no explicit biblical accounts of Jesus resting on Holy Wednesday, it is possible that he spent this time with his disciples teaching them and preparing them for what is to come. The specific activities of Jesus on Holy Wednesday is not clearly documented in the Bible, so it remains a matter of interpretation and tradition. While there is no specific account in the Bible of what Jesus did on Holy Wednesday, there are a few possible activities or events that some scholars and theologians have suggested based on the context of the events leading up to Jesus' crucifixion. And one, the teachings and preparing his disciples. You see, Jesus may have used this time to continue teaching his disciples and preparing them for the trials and challenges that were to come. He may have shared important lessons, insights, and instructions with them during this time period. In prayer and reflection, Jesus often withdrew to prayer and seek guidance from God. It is possible that he spent time in prayer and reflection on Holy Wednesday, seeking strength and guidance for the events that would soon unfold. And three, the final preparations. Jesus may have been making final preparations for the events of the upcoming days, including his arrest, trials, and crucifixion. This could have involved both spiritual and practical preparations. In reaching out to those in need, Jesus often ministered to the sick, the marginalized, and the needy. It is possible that he continued to reach out to those in need, offering healing, comfort, and hope during this time. And overall, while there is no definitive answer to what Jesus did on Holy Wednesday, these are some activities that are often suggested based on what we know of Jesus' character, teachings, and actions during his ministry. And five, spending time with his loved ones. Now, Jesus may have used this time to spend quality time with his loved ones, including his mother, Mary, his close friends like Mary Magdalene, and other followers who were dear to him. And this could have been a time of emotional support and connection before the treacherous events of the following days. And six, contemplating his mission and sacrifice. Holy Wednesday could have been a time for Jesus to reflect on the purpose of his mission on earth and the sacrifice he was about to make for the redemption of humanity. He may have meditated on the significance of his impending crucifixion and the implications of the salvation for mankind. Now, engaging in spiritual warfare. Some interpretations suggested that Jesus could have been engaged in spiritual warfare on Holy Wednesday, preparing himself for the intense spiritual battle that would take place during his arrest, his trial, and crucifixion. This could involve prayer, fasting, and spiritual preparation for the challenges ahead. In fulfilling prophecy, Jesus, being aware of the prophecies concerning the Messiah and the Hebrew Scriptures, may have been mindful of fulfilling these prophecies during the events leading up to the crucifixion. He may have been intentional in his actions and words to fulfill the prophecies related to the suffering servant and the Messiah. So these are additional perspectives that offer insight into what Jesus may have been doing on Holy Wednesday, although the exact activities remain a matter of speculation and interpretation based on the information available in the Gospels and the Christian traditions. Now, in a small village in the heart of the countryside, the residents were bustling in anticipation for Holy Wednesday, a day that held great significance in their tight-knit community. The week leading up to this holy day had been filled with preparations, prayer, and acts of kindness as the villagers eagerly awaited for the arrival of the most sacred day of the year. As the sun rose on Holy Wednesday, the villagers gathered at the old stone church at the center of the village. You see, the air was filled with the sweet scent of incense and the sound of hymns being sung in unison. The elderly priest, Father Thomas, stood at the pulpit. His kind eyes were filled with warmth and wisdom as he spoke to the congregation about the importance of forgiveness, compassion, and unity. You see, it was after the church service, the villagers took to the streets to participate in the traditional procession that took place every Holy Wednesday. Men, women, and children walked together in solemn silence, carrying candles and crosses as they made their way through the village. The procession was a symbol of unity and faith, a reminder to all that were part of something greater than themselves. As the procession reached the village square, a sudden commotion broke out. A young girl named Anna had fallen ill. Her face pale and her breath was shallow. The villagers gathered around her, their faces etched with concern and fear. Father Thomas knelt beside her, his hands clasped in prayer as he whispered words of comfort and healing. In that moment of crisis, something remarkable happened. The villagers, regardless of their differences and their past grievances, came together as one. They offered their help, their prayers, and their support to Anna and her family. Neighbors who had not spoken in years embraced each other, tears of compassion and forgiveness shining in their eyes. It is through their collective faith and act of kindness the villagers witnessed a miracle that Holy Wednesday. Anna's eyes fluttered open, her strength returned as she smiled at those around her. It was a moment of pure grace and unity, a testament to the power of love and compassion. As the sun set on Holy Wednesday, the villagers returned to the church for a final prayer of gratitude and reflection. Father Thomas stood before them, his voice filled with emotion as he spoke of the day's events and the profound lesson that had been learned. Holy Wednesday has brought us together like we have never thought possible. He said, his eyes shining with tears and joy. Today, we have witnessed a true meaning of faith, forgiveness, and community. Let this day be a reminder to us all that we are stronger than we stand together in love and compassion. And so, as the villagers held hands in a circle of unity and peace, they knew that Holy Wednesday was indeed brought something together. They brought their hearts, their souls, and their community. It brought it in a way that would forever bind them in love and faith. And that night grew still as the villagers lingered in the church. Their hearts were filled with newfound sense of unity and hope. The flickering candles cast a warm glow over their faces of the villagers, illuminating the tears of joy and gratitude that glistened in their eyes. And as they shared stories of past grievances, forgiven, and acts of kindness that were shown, a sense of healing and renewal watched over the congregation. Old wounds were finally put to rest, replaced by a deep sense of connection and understanding that transcends all differences. And in the corner of the church, Anna sat there surrounded by family and friends, her face now radiant with a light that seemed to shine from within. She spoke of the overwhelming sense of peace and love that had enveloped her during that time of need, and how she felt truly blessed to be part of such a caring and compassionate community. Father Thomas watched over his flock with a heart that was full of gratitude and pride. He knew that this Holy Wednesday would be remembered for generations that would come, and as a day of miracle and transformation, a day when the power of faith and love had united a community in ways that had never thought possible. As the villagers finally made their way back to their homes, their hearts light and spirits were lifted. A gentle breeze rustled through the trees, carrying it a sense of peace and tranquility that seemed to linger in the air long after they were all departed. And so the story Holy Wednesday in a small village became a tale of redemption, forgiveness, and the unbreakable bond that exists between those who will come together in the spirit of love and compassion. It was a day that taught them that no matter how dark the night may seem, The light of faith and unity will always guide them home.